Because of the unparalleled success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the number of video games based on comic books has increased. While some, such as Marvel's Spider-Man, have been huge successes, others, such as Marvel's Avengers, have been less well received. With the recent announcement that EA Motive Studio is developing a new third-person action game based on Iron Man, the studio is in a fantastic position to build on the best Marvel games while avoiding some larger pitfalls. The debut of the 2008 film Iron Man was a defining moment in many respects. Not only did it revive Robert Downey Jr.'s fading career, but it also launched the MCU and introduced Iron Man to a whole new audience. In a superhero scene dominated by Batman, Superman and Spider-Man at the time, Iron Man was a breath of fresh air. This will not be Iron Man's first journey into the realm of video games, but it is a thrilling idea nonetheless. When it comes to designing the ideal superhero game, Marvel's Spider-Man is likely to come to mind. The 2018 PlayStation exclusive got praise for everything from the aesthetics, gameplay, fighting, and traversal to the plot and customization choices. Insomniac Games seem to know precisely what gamers wanted from a single-player Spider-Man experience, and the game is able to confidently swing between a narrative-driven experience and an open-world sandbox with ease. Many people are praising Spider-Man's smooth, fluid mobility when zipping and diving across New York's skyscrapers. It is an important part of Iron Man's mechanics too. The very nature of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits demands unhindered freedom for the players to traverse whatever environment they find themselves in. Thanks to Stark's powerful jet thrusters, he is able to propel himself in any direction at lightning-fast speeds, while also being able to hover on the spot. The open-world environment in Marvel's Spider-Man would seemingly be a perfect fit for Iron Man too. While having a strong narrative to propel the action forward will likely be high on the developer's agenda, it should not come at the expense of Iron Man's freedom to explore. It would be anticlimactic to give Iron Man awesome flight mechanics, but not the freedom of a sandbox to use them in. In terms of combat, the two games can be very different. Spider-Man's combat style is quick and reactive, with a focus on getting right up in the enemy's face. The majority of Iron Man's offensive prowess derives from various types of firepower integrated into his suits. Therefore, while he has no pushover in hand-to-hand fighting, battle will probably give the player more ranged choices. Iron Man has already made an appearance in a few video games, but none of them have received very positive reviews. His standalone Iron Man VR was slammed for being too monotonous despite the inventive flight mechanics on show, while licensed games based on the first two Iron Man movies received a cool reception. Then there was Marvel's Avengers, which ultimately fell short of expectations. Strangely, despite the fact that each of the Avengers has a separate combat style, set of strength, and set of weaknesses, they don't feel or play sufficiently different from one another. Iron Man isn't poorly done compared to other teammates in the game, but the level design doesn't favor verticality, with most levels being enclosed arenas that don't fit with Iron Man's penchant to flight. To its credit though, the game does present Stark with a range of combat abilities accommodating both long and short range. While he is far from the worst thing about the game, playing as him in Marvel's Avengers just doesn't give the player that feeling of becoming Iron Man. It doesn't help that the game has no strong antagonist for Stark to face off against. Iron Man is at its best when he has a target to stand toe-to-toe with, while perhaps cracking one-liners. The upcoming Iron Man game needs to feature a strong villain, or cast of villains, who are able to match Stark both physically and intellectually, and push him to his limits as Thanos did during Avengers Infinity War. It can sometimes be hard to disconnect Marvel superheroes from their MCU appearances. The actors portraying them have inevitably made it difficult for fans. Marvel's Spider-Man and the more recent Guardians of the Galaxy are able to carve out their own versions of these heroes. Developers must attempt to create its own Iron Man free from Robert Downey Jr.'s shadow. If they can do this, While taking on the best part of the games that have come before it, the next Iron Man project could be very well received. I'm highly curious to see how EA Motive Studio is going to pull this one off. The concept of a fully standalone non-VR Iron Man game does have a lot of potential on paper. But will they pull it off? Or will they ultimately succumb to more of that famous EA greed that we've grown to know? Let us just hope for the best. Unlike EA, we at Game ET are a free channel. That is right. That means it will cost you nothing but a bit of time to press that subscription button as well as the like button. How about we talk about it in the comments down below? I'll see you there.